So hi, I started a video, started speaking Swedish first of all, and then I got interrupted after a while, so I'll begin again now. I dislike that really. I do these so spontaneous mostly, and it bugs me when I have want to say the same things one more time. Sort of, I don't have to say what I said, but then again it feels like I already talk to you, and I want to have said it so you hear me, not just erase it. Disturbing. Wow. Okay, anyways. Okay, I start over then and repeat myself. Then it gets mechanical, I feel. I really dislike that. I just don't have the same feeling now when I say the same things. I go into it when I talk about things, you know. Mostly I do anything. I don't mean anyways. Oh gosh, now I get irritated, really. Gotta breathe. Small things. Okay, I don't have to repeat what I said already, so. Well, the Book of Shadows Tarot, as above, so below anyways. Yes, I will have to repeat what I said. It's what I will use for the 2 cards, as for the 2 likes, and I will just speak now, like in such a mechanical way to get said. God, I am so irritated because of that. Wow. Oh, okay. Anyway, so I can think about the forest because I was in the forest and I started talking about that a lot, and now I just don't want to talk about that. But anyway, so there is a meaning for everything. Yeah. I got 2 likes, so I will pick 2 cards, and I get no more comments apparently. So you don't have to get. You can comment anyways if anyone would like to. Just mention that you don't appreciate the card then. But maybe then it's it for you anyways. Yeah. Okay. I guess it's for the brave ones. Well, okay, now I'm so irritated and I have to change my mood. That's the transformation, the alchemy of emotions. Yeah. Quite easy to do, honestly, if you really try. Sometimes you just want to be angry, sort of. I can be like that, anyways. Just by thinking that I want to transform it, I start to feel really like. Then the anger just like blows away, and I don't really want to. I want to keep it for a little while. Wow. Anyways, so I think I'm a little bit tired. That's why. Yeah. Anyways, I started to talk about that I've been out in the forest, those old trees and stuff that I can't say with emotion now, but and also how I was brought up in outdoors, in the forests, woods, and how I love that. And I've mentioned this so many times, but today I really felt the presence. You know, you can go through be in the woods or go through a forest without really be present and connecting with the trees. But now I really did. Not all the time, but I'm kind of reminded myself to do that. And then they really heal you, or you can really feel the presence of the forest spirit or spirits. And that's amazing. It's really magical. I love to be out in the forest. And also I mentioned how some of my native Swedes and Sami people ancestors come from the forest Sami people. There are those who are more like connected to the ocean, some more to the mountains. I guess we're all related, but as far as I know, those were at least the most recent ones were forest Sami people. And I absolutely always felt like embraced. Now I get into it again. I actually do always feel embraced by it, and I miss it. I'm not very often out there, and I mean, I grew up in there always. We made our food outdoors, not always, but often by fire. A real fire lit, and it's so tasty to eat outdoors. And just, I've always felt that's like my Mother Earth, also mom, but also, as I mentioned, Kronos, the horned one, like with those elk horns, or that's why it's called that. His name means that, and that is like the spirit of the forest, you can say, maybe, and protector of animals, and so. And that energy have always been very, even before it was like personified like that, you recognize certain energy, and that energy, I just love it so very much. So, wow, it's just, and it's my favorite place, I guess. But also, there are so many favorite places, especially in nature. Oh gosh, and now my anger is gone. Yeah. But it can easily come back depending on what I think about. So, yeah, it was really awesome to be out there. Yeah. And I also have a special connection to the mountains. The snowy mountains. I love that very much too. So, but as I said, my whole upbringing were more or less mostly outdoors. And my dad and so on have that naturally, I think. He cannot stand to be indoors almost. Yeah. And I really love that too. I feel so good when I do. When I am. I'm also very easily I can entertain myself with whatever. Actually, I never feel bored. So it's not that without that part I get like I feel bad or I don't recall really that I miss out on something, but when I go out there I realize how much I missed it or how much I need it. It's like a craving, honestly. Yeah. Especially if I can be present and calm, so I can really connect with the energy of the nature around. That is something amazing with that. Yeah. Well, yeah. Probably should pick the cards now. I will do that. I will maybe read about them, maybe not. We'll see. And then maybe I will talk a little bit more about something. Or maybe not. We'll see. Immediately when I stop thinking about the forest, I get a little bit irritated again. What is this? No, I don't have. I think it's... Yeah, never mind. I thought that I would have a lot of time. Okay, concentration here. What is the card for the first commenter here now? On this video. It is... You saw this. I think you saw this, or was this on my Facebook? Anyways, 9 of Wood. Yeah, I talked about it at least, didn't I? This was really happy cards last time, or two videos ago or so. This is Lakshmi, 9 of Water, the Wish card. It's sometimes called... Maybe the same person will comment then. I don't know. Well, that is the first card. I think it was for not the first comment. Well, I don't recall. And then we'll take a second card for the second commenter. Let's see. That's it. Here we go. We don't read this reversed exactly now. It's the Empress. The first one is as above, by the way, and this one, the Empress, is so below. I will have to read about them, I think. They are very beautiful, both of them. Yeah. Need to drink some water. I have this pink, really bright. I can't even describe this. Magenta maybe is the color. Bright pinkish glass with water in. I like that. To drink from colored glasses. Okay. I think it influences the water in some way. Alright. I mean, I laugh because I think some people think like I do, but some people just think you're nuts when you say things like that. Okay. 9 of Water. Okay, let's see. We read this, as I said, quite recently. Prosperity. Lakshmi is the beloved Hindu goddess of prosperity. This is for the first commenter or anyone who feel connected to this. She governs over abundance and wealth, both material and spiritual. She is known for her generosity, what do I see here? Yeah, freely giving to all those who would but receive her gifts. It's quite not so lit here, and I don't have any glasses, and yeah. No matter how much she shares, she never runs short, for there is more than enough for everyone. There is no moral judgment about which sort of prosperity, material or spiritual, is more desirable. Lakshmi and her devotees love and honor both, for one is the reflection of the other, another instance of as above, so below. An interesting law seems to be at work with Lakshmi. It seems that she is able to give without restriction, and by doing so only increases her own prosperity and her generosity. In a symbiotic twist, she needs those to give to in order to increase her own blessings. Likewise, it would seem that we also, in order to fully enjoy our blessings, need others with whom to share with whom to share. Lakshmi seems to teach us that giving increases rather than lessens our prosperity. The 9 of Water promises increased prosperity, both material and spiritual, as well as others to share it with. Blessings and gifts and revelations abound as if from nowhere, simple in response to your own generous actions and simple requests. Yeah, there is actually a reverse for these cards, so maybe I should read that for the Empress. I will read both. It came reversed, although I don't usually read it that way. But for the whomever this is for, if there is 2 commenters, then you would know which one suits you. I would assume the Empress. For you, it could mean smothering or controlling someone or something in the name of love. Think about that. Anyways, I'll read it. It's not so long, this one. The Empress expresses herself beautifully in the physical world. She helps things grow by making them comfortable, by feeding them what they need to become strong, and by healing injuries. She loves and comforts and blesses all that come within her realm. There is a picture of a seemingly motherly figure, actually, like as if. So I grew up like they having a picnic out in the forest, and this kid have a football and have injured his fallen or so, scratched his knee, and she takes care of that. And so it seemed very loving and sweet, though, the card. Yeah. She loves and comforts and blesses all that come within her realm. Abundance, nurturing, and creation. Could it mean, but also, as I said, the first thing. Yeah, that was that. Maybe I should talk a bit more about. I was going to mention a few various things about what? I don't have much experience of this, I must say. Clairaudience, but I can mention a few things how you could do anyways that others share. So it's the ability to hear. I mean, I have all these gifts. I can hear with all my inner senses, so to speak, or perceive with all my inner senses. I mean, but I did. It was no danger, so on, or I was scared in the sense that I thought that someone meant me harm. But there was a time, as I talked about, when there was a spirit following me when I was maybe 14. I don't remember exact age. And this one was laying down beside me, also like sleeping in the bed. And I saw the little bit of, as if a head was laying on the pillow beside me. At first, actually, I heard the breath of this spirit not in sync with my breath. So I was a little bit scared, and I thought, what is this? And we were doing occult, like the spirit in the glass and so on, a lot, every day, every night. And yeah, we did it a lot. At that time it was me and a specific friend, Lisa. So, and I went home, and then that spirit followed me home, apparently. As I think it was big, but we always did that in their cellar. That was, yeah. Anyways, and there it happened a lot of other odd things related to that, but that was one thing. And then I held my own breath because I thought maybe it was me anyways, but it was another breath that didn't breathe in sync, as I said. And then it kept breathing, like very slowly and deep, as if sleeping, almost like that, sort of. And so I was really freaked out and checked, and then I saw this as if there was no one that I could see, but there was a little bit of a hole in the pillow, as when someone have their head there, and for each breath this moved. So when there was an in-breath, it like deepened that little thing in the pillow, and the out-breath it moved upwards a bit. So and then I just got so scared and went to my mom's and slept in her bed next, or with my feet in the other direction, but with her in the bed. So and that was nothing I ever did, even almost as a kid. I don't think I actually ever. I mean, I could go there in the morning when I was a child or so, but yeah. And they were mocking me and saying, "Have the pillow talk to you anything lately?" and so on. Yeah, after that, many years after that, until now, but some years ago, they actually realized that, quite many years ago now, that it was that was what happened. But no one understood it at the time really around. I just thought it was hilarious in a way. So anyways, what about that? Yeah, so after that, since I heard that breath so clearly, I really hesitate to hear things. I do hear things sometimes, usually just briefly, like hello, or I mean, yeah, I can hear things, and probably I should practice it more, because there are those I recall the voices of people that have passed that I know, but there is one of them that I almost recall his voice, but I don't remember the voice, and it makes me almost like nuts that I don't. And yeah, I can't, if you think about a voice, you can kind of hear it inside of you, and that I don't recall. And yeah, that really bothers me, actually. Anyway, so I think it was in this, yeah, I guess I just blocked it, sort of. But yeah. Anyways, since that happened, I prefer to perceive in other ways. I feel very much through my body, and I see mostly, and sometimes I see written things. And one of my mentors, Lena, she saw that with her psychic vision, that it's just amazing how clearly I see, because I just see it written out, because I prefer not to hear it. They communicate with us in the way we perceive it. And sometimes I hear voices or when I do readings for people, and then I can actually pick it up as voices, or certain dialects, or what, not, that's not the word in English, certain specific ways of speaking, or languages as well, but that you can also see in written form. But anyways, yeah, it's easier to of course understand if it's a man or a woman or whomever it is, if they don't say who they are. If you hear them, you can, so it's a little bit it probably would be easier, but also that is sometimes connected to like mental illness or being insane or whatnot. So I guess I just prefer not to hear, so I don't hear usually, almost ever. I can like tune into picking up that way, but usually I don't. So anyways, I will share a little bit about that, although it's not my main way to pick up. But then again, I pick up music very easily. Yeah, so I do. And oftentimes that have when I do readings as well, it does have a specific meaning to that is meant to be revealed or shared with that person. I guess that's how, when you get a song in your mind and you can't get it out, sort of thing. Yeah. But also those who do so-called hear voices, usually it is that they have this thought in their mind that they, if you think a thought yourself, that you think it, that you don't hear it, like you don't receive it. So if you are very passive and don't actively think, and there comes meanings or thoughts to you, let's say, if you haven't experienced this, it sounds weird, but then kind of the difference, that this is not from me, in the same way as if someone did speak to you, or if you speak, what is what, even though you perceive it from within. So So some people who talk about that, they mention it as if they actually hear it with their inner ear, so to speak. And they do some also. But some people call it that even though they just pick it up as thoughts. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. So it's about the ability to hear sounds or words from other dimensions. And that when it comes to music and songs and such things, I've always been able to pick up those angel voices singing and so on. I can hear that. And so drums also I can hear various things actually, but I have preferred not to hear voices speaking to me. Also maybe because my granddad always heard them. He couldn't turn it off. It was really, really stressful for him. They always spoke to him. And when I was a little kid sitting there with him smoking his pipe and sitting playing around in the room along with him, he was really, really sweet and kind. And I feel very strongly connected to him. He at the same time as he answered, I mean, he was fully aware of the surroundings around and us and so, but they were so in his face all the time, so to speak. So he had to talk to them also and ask them to be quiet and so on, to talk to me, for example, if I asked him something, and if I were just quiet and doing something else, he spoke with them and told them. Usually he asked them to stop, but he didn't. Apparently, he didn't. He hadn't learned how to, or been taught how to. It wasn't seen as normal. It wasn't seen as an ability you can have. So it was seen as more like nuts, which is sad. I wish he would have had someone who could have guided him to balance that, so he wouldn't have been so open, so he couldn't turn it off and on. So yeah, and not only that, also those scary stories and religious bullshit. Actually, that was he was stuffed with a bit. It was not only that; it was good things as well. But some of it made it more stressful for him, I'm sure. Which is sad. Yeah. But that's another reason why I just hesitate when it comes to voices, I guess. Not that I've thought, I mean, I haven't purposely thought that I don't want to, but I realized that hearing that breathing so strongly and how it freaked me out, as well as knowing this for all my life with my granddad, I have preferred, I guess, to try not to hear them. But it happens. It happens that it comes through a couple of words or something that someone says sometime. Yeah. And that I like. I've never felt it. I've never felt unease or that it's still uncomfortable. Even that when I pick it up, but it's just very small things oftentimes. Yeah. So also we can pick up from spiritual guides and so on, or our angels or so on. Of course. And as I said, there is an advantage if you then hear a voice that you recognize, then you immediately know who it is. In contrast to just seeing things written, if they wouldn't do it in like a specific handwriting, but they don't. So I get it in like capital letters often. They are easier to not mistake. I mean, they are awesome from the other side, so to speak, from the spiritual side. They just communicate with us in the most simple way that's possible for us to receive. And if they try to reach us from a certain through a certain channel or a certain sense or whatever, and we we block that, or then they will do it the way that we can pick it up. So yeah, they are brilliant, and they are also very flexible apparently. Yeah. And there are those who also, some have said it recent years, I think 3 this year, those who actually are really psychic and work with that themselves have told me that I can do channel as a medium, but there are those who also really take in the spirit in their own, let them like take over their physical and speak through them, so that they will use your voice to say what is needed and so on. And in some cases that is that's nothing I've done, but people tell me that I can do it. But I mean, for those who would hear it, if they hear that you talk with that specific voice, or say those specific phrases in the way that that person that they long to hear from did, that will of course mean a lot to others. So I guess I would. I'm not afraid of that at all, but I just haven't done it. Maybe I should. Yeah. It's like, yeah, you are even more so receptive and let them. You're just a vessel for what they want to. You are still, if you're just a medium who translate, but then you don't even have to translate, because they just use your voice in your body and so on to share what they want. Yeah. And maybe if you do it that way, maybe you don't even remember what you did, because they do it, let's say. Yeah. Yeah, but you can develop these things as well. There are, of course, many other ways than those that I mentioned, but yeah. And if, as for myself, as someone who practiced these things, it would really be an awesome thing for me to open up all these channels. It really helps to get the communication correct and so on, and be better at it, of course. So I will have to, I guess. Although it's awesome as it is, and they have found their way to communicate with me, it's not necessary to open up all these senses. But I think it makes you an even better medium, or psychic even. Yeah. But as I said, even thoughts are connected to that. And it's connected to the throat chakra, which is also connected to the hearing and so on. Yeah. And you can practice actually by listening to sounds and also first listening to them actually with your ear, your normal hearing, so to speak. Like various kinds of, like if you're at a marketplace or churches or, a choir or boats or bird song or animals around a jar. I mean those what do you say? Yeah, countryside, those kinds of sounds, water or the ocean or wind or children playing or various animals and so on. Or even camping at night and listening to the sounds out. And if you're close enough to a forest. And storm or rain or like collect sounds. Really listen to them, how they really sound. And when you have done that for a while, various sounds, like you don't have to record them, but record them with your mind. And then you can try to hear them within you. I mean, usually we can, if we just think about it, we know how certain things sounds, don't we? But anyways, you can try to recreate these sounds. And then you can also go practice if there is a stone wall in a place and so on, and preferably an older, and you can hold your hand that a little bit psychometry maybe, but also this clear hearing. You can then hear what the walls have heard, so to speak. If you tune into that, it have like gotten energetically absorbed by the walls, so you can hear it. And also those ancient places or stone circles or museums or even if there are other things built upon a place where there have been something before, those sounds from those places can be tuned into. So if you know about certain places like that, to go there and listen with your inner ear, so to speak, or try to pick up sounds beyond what you normally hear there. And maybe afterwards even go and check it up, like a little detective in library or museums or so on, so you can understand where the sounds come from and realize what you actually heard. And you will probably be surprised because of the correctness and things you couldn't know that you heard and so on. It's like so, and you know, all the natives in various parts of all parts of the world also have this ability to hear voices in the wind or in flowing rivers or birds or through the sounds of animals and so on, through nature in various ways. So, and for example, I don't even recall names now in English. The what is that tree called? You know what I mean? So those I know the Swedish name for it. Ek is that name. How can I not know that? The most marvelous, well-known tree in all times, almost. Those, anyways, yeah, whatever. Even other, but there are trees that live for thousands or 2,000 years and so on. And they, of course, have a lot of, they have also picked up a lot of, they have a lot of wisdom, but they've also picked up or absorbed sounds and so on. But you can communicate and hear various trees and just the differences between their ways of speaking, what sort of tree it is. So, and they also help if you hear trees in the wind, then you can tune into, like, especially if it's a little bit more windy, then if they stand close together, also trees, It can be in a backyard or a park or a forest or so on. But let your mind gradually tune in to this rhythm of the wind or the sounds of the leaves, and then follow the sound when the leaves are still. And after a while, you then will hear something that resembles whispering voices. And when you feel ready, then you can touch a tree and that seem welcoming to you, and ask for permission to from the spirit of the forest to seek wisdom through their voices. And those guardians of the forest will protect you. And you can do other methods of protection if you think you need it, but this will be enough. And then there will be some spontaneous question that comes to mind, and you can say it out loud, or you can carve it into a piece of fallen tree or bark. Is that the word? No, bark, that's what dogs do in English. Yeah, that's the Swedish word for those. The outer layer of the tree, if you follow them. Yeah, anyway. And throw it as far away as possible in the pause in between the winds, you can say, yeah. And if you don't have a specific question, then let this wind in the leaves just share their wisdom, and close your eyes and listen to the words that are formulated by the leaves while they make their sounds. Yeah. And these leaves and the wind will be mixed together in a way as if a person talked to you. And it can be a verse, or it can be just a phrase, and then stillness, and then it come back, and with the next wind it continues to say the whole sentence, or the whole thing that is meant to be said. And when they have revealed the message, then wait if there would be any more word that you can hear, and images can also flash through your mind, or sense, or emotions, or impressions. And if you want to continue, then take the time that is needed. If you want to have follow-up questions, or let them develop and throw themselves into the wind. And eventually then touch the surface of the special tree you've chosen, and thank it, and let its strength and healing power calm down or silent those the thoughts that would be maybe in this harmony that you have, and fill up yourself with energy. Trees are awesome at that. And also you can leave a gift. That is a good thing to the wild birds or animals or something beneath the tree, or the fairies. So, and also to write down the words or images or impressions to get in your mind. So and if you start doing this, it won't be long until you start to hear messages from other voices of nature, or the rain, or waves, or you will pick up. And as I said, with all these things, I pick up easily if I try it. So even now today, just being out there because I've thought about sharing this with you, then I kind of heard the trees almost. I didn't listen to them exactly with my inner voice, my inner ears, but I did pick up them. I perceived them more clearly than I usually do, just by feeling the presence more clear. Anyways, also you can tune into yourself, your your own wisdom, the voice of your own wisdom, or your soul, you can say. So as I mentioned also before in some video about Nostradamus, or Michael from Notre Dame, who wrote down like in verse. You can do that as a story, or you can do it as a like poetry, however it comes to you, this prophetic gift. But it's like picking up from other dimensions and spirits, and also channel wisdom from your guides, but also through yourself, and also chanting or singing in the rhythmic way, or moving rhythmically, like also drums and other sounds, like, but mantras as well. These that's meditative techniques to open up these psychic energy centers in yourself. So it's relaxing, so you can tune into that part of yourself. It's part of developing this inner hearing also, that you come into trance, or you become more aware of how to get into that consciousness level. So O Mani Padme Hum, for example. So yeah, and it's said it comes from China and traveled to Tibet, and is central in Tibetan Buddhism. I love Tibetan Buddhism. Oh, I miss my is it called Yara? No, the Mala. No, I don't even know what it's called now. The thing with 108, beans almost. It was like a pearls. The necklace, or I didn't have it 3.5. What was it? 2? Yeah, anyways, it was like onto my wrist and the hand. But you can have it as a necklace, of course. But I never used it to do mantras, though. But you can. But I always wore it for many years. I have I have it still, but I need to put some other new thread into it. It broke after being very thin for a really long time. It was like a year ago or so it broke. But I had it for like 10 years at least, even more. It must have been way more. And before it broke, it's amazing because I always had it. This thread just got thinner and thinner. But anyways, it's seen as if it contains all the teachings of Buddha, this mantra. And it means the jewel in the lotus flower, yeah. So if you repeat that, you open up. And you can also create your own chants, like just repeat a phrase or something. Yeah. It's good to keep it between like 4 or 15 words. The short ones are often more efficient, so yeah. Earth, air, fire, water, that is one, for example. Or the names of the angels, Uriel, Raphael, Michael, Gabriel. And or yeah, I am is one very common. But do it softly and rhythmically, whatever you choose. You can also watch a flame of a candle meanwhile, or a crystal bowl, or a beautiful flower or something. So, and if you have something like that, it's good if you have it in the same level as the eyes, so you can look straight forward onto it. But you can also hold a crystal or something in your hand and look deep into it or onto it. Yeah. Or you can have a rattle as well as a drum or something, like rhythmically but softly, if you want to start to tune into your inner hearing. So, and to chant for like 5 to 10 minutes, or longer if you wish to, and then start to look into your crystal or water or the flower or flame or so on. And just feel the inspiration, if you get any inspiration, what to write or so on. It will not always come, as I said, in here, that you hear words like that, but also to be aware and receptive to the ideas that pop up in your mind, as you may perceive them as your own thoughts. But yeah. And also you can record, but if you prefer to write, you can do that. Yeah. Or also you can do automatic writing as well. That's connected actually to this sense. I did it really strangely when I started doing that long ago also now. I really waited for the pen to move. And it did. It actually did write. But it was difficult for the spirits to have my hand moving. You know, you kind of need to follow the flow a little bit and let it move freely. I didn't. I just was passive and expected them to do it. And you know, then you give so much resistance to them, so it's difficult for them. But I mean, that is another way you can do it. Or just write like inspirational writing, kind of. It's still, you open up. If you just write and write without interrupting it or thinking through it too much and so on, a lot will come through you that is not from you exactly. Yeah, you don't have to make an effort or strain yourself. Just be in the flow and let the words, the inspired words, just flow. Yeah. And then you can also pick up then through that messages from angels or spiritual guides or so on, as well as your own higher self, your own soul, your own wisdom. Okay, that was that. I think I gotta end now. I hope you got something out of this, and let me know, anyone, if you try any of these methods and what they do for you. Maybe I should myself go into that practice more, because it would clarify certain things, and you easier know if, even age, if you hear persons' voices, you can sort of pick up a lot of things through voices. I love voices, ASMR and all that. That's the only ASMR that I actually listen to. It's voices. And not only like voices making sounds, I think that's boring. Or even mantras, I would think it's boring. But I want to hear them talk. So I think that would be a good thing to try to practice more. But then I will also talk to you about psychometry in my coming video. Thanks for being there, and we will talk soon, I'm sure. Take care, everyone. And feel free to comment whether you want a card or not. But I will keep doing this for a while because I find it fun. So I will pick cards for the likes, and maybe I won't film them. Maybe if someone asks me to do so, I will. I'm a little bit too lazy, but yeah. Take care for now, and I will talk to you all soon.